Morning folks, Bay State Yankee here. Today we're going to be replacing a window well cover. This goes on one of my basement windows. I have one outside that's in pretty rough shape. So before winter I want to get this on. I also want to, when I take the old one off, I want to clean out the window well. It gets debris in there. Once you have a hole in it, vegetation starts to grow. You just want to get that away from the house. So today we're going to do this. So sit back and check it out. So this is the old window well cover. This is close to 10 years old. You can see the holes in it at the bottom. The string trimmer has hit it, shattered it. There is a crack right over in there. The screws have held up well, but I've got vegetation growing inside. So what I got to do is replace it. I'm going to put the same thing up, but I want to put something along the edge underneath the front rim so the grass doesn't get in there as much. Maybe bricks or something. And then I'll keep the trimmer kind of away from that. So I think it probably would have held up for the full time. It says there's a 10-year warranty, but so it's really at the end of its life. It's a piece of vinyl and the sun hits it in the afternoon, and that bakes vinyl. So nothing you can do about that. So today that's our project to get this done. This is the new window well cover. It's a heavy duty. It's put out by a company called McCourt. I want to say this right out of the chute. I wouldn't advise that you purchase it because it says 10-year warranty, because when you read the warranty on the back, in the same sentences they flip back and forth between 5 and 10 years. So it's really unclear what they're really guaranteeing. But like I said, my old one lasted 10 years. So I really don't know what to expect. I would imagine it depends on the amount of abuse it takes. But it's also unclear about what they would replace. So it's a $20 piece. I'd say it's probably worth about 10, but that's just the way it is. So you can get cheaper ones that aren't as thick and rigid, but here we get snow, and this will hold up to the snow. The pleats in it here do a good job, and it sheds it. I'm going to put 4 screws along the top. I've marked the holes where I'm going to drill the holes first. You never want to just drive a screw through there. It'll just shatter. So I'll drill some holes here, and then I'll probably reuse the screws I have out there, but this time I'm going to put in cup washers, and that will help it hold a little better. Although, the last one held well. So at the bottom, I don't usually attach the bottom because my wood stops about here. There's a gap. And maybe I'll fill that with a piece of brick. And then I want to put brick along the edge, and that will keep my string trimmer away from hitting the edge. So that's about it. So let me get started. so you could see inside the well. I replaced the window well here, I don't know, 15 years ago, and I put in these corrugated metal pieces. They're about 3 feet high. Prior to this, there was a small cement thing here, and it was like way down here, so water was getting into the house, and I needed to raise the dirt around the side of the house and slope it away so rainwater would flow away from the house, and that made a dramatic difference in the basement. And if you have a basement, you understand wet basements and dry basements, there's a big difference. So that's what we did, and it seems to be working out well. It is apparently dry in there, and there's very little debris actually on the floor. It's just this stuff growing in here, and this is what we're going to remove and then put bricks along the edge here. Now the screws that were in there were very short, so we're going to go down and see if we can't find something a little bit longer. Okay, these are the screws I had in there, and they're only about a ½ inch long. It's hard to see that, I'm probably too close, but it's about a ½ inch long. Well, since I'm going to use the cup washers, I'm going to need something a little bit longer. Actually, this was too short even without the washers. So I've got some assortment of screws up here. Let me see if I can. There's some sheet metal screws. These are all leftovers, but they're a little longer, and maybe I can find something in here. Okay, I've got 4 here, and you can see it with the washer on it, and that'll hold it quite well. It'll go far enough into the wood shingles to hold it, and there's a good inch or more with working thread there. So we'll put these back. This is why, if you haven't seen my tour of my hardware area, this is why I keep these things. You just never know when you're going to need a screw or not, and who wants to ride all the way to the hardware store for one little piece and then spend a big amount of money for it. So I've got quite a bit of stuff here, and it keeps me satisfied with the work projects I'm usually working on. So And if you see me out there working with small parts, you may notice that I have a couple of magnets in my pocket, and it holds my washers right here, where I won't lose them. It's easier than digging in your pocket and trying to find what you have. So that's the way I do it. Then when I'm working out there, it's easy to grab what you want. You can look at it, you can see it, you can grab it, and then move on. Okay, we're going to do a test fit. And I think I want to move my bricks a little further away. Okay, I'll probably get grass growing up in that small crack in there, but I can easily remove this and take it out. And this year I put 2 half bricks, one on either side. I had a squirrel in there last summer, so that should stop the squirrel. So now I'm just going to screw this to the wall and then backfill it. And I think that the brick will stop my string trimmer, and I'll just be more careful. Okay. So there it is. That'll keep the snow out of there. Small animals in the spring will come along here and reseed this. We're not going to do it right now. And pretty much that's it. That's how you install a window well cover. It's not the prettiest thing, some people don't like these on their house. Some people like the flat ones. This window well cover is at the very back of the house. Nobody sees it. So we just do this to shed the water and protect the window. So, okay, let me get rid of this stuff, put my tools away, and we're all done. So this is the old one, and you can see the holes that have been put in there for string trimmer or other impact, maybe a rake or a shovel. If you're working there, you have to be careful. I got 1, 2, 3, over here, 4, 5, 6. So any water running down here would get in there easily. Then there's a big crack here. So it was time for it to go. But vinyl does this. When it gets out in the sun and the weather, it just erodes. And sometimes they'll put UV inhibitors in it, and they tell you about it and everything. But you know, plastic and vinyl does this. There's nothing you can do about it. So it has to be replaced. And by replacing it, we're keeping the water out of the foundation area of the house. And that's one of the most important things that a homeowner needs to do, is to keep that water away from the house. That's why we have gutters, downspouts, and you know, we slope the land away from the house. That's all done for a reason. So that's about it. But I do want to say that I hope you can see this here. I hope you try out this trick. I found this not too long ago, and boy, does it work well. You just simply take, if I can get it out of here. I got these at Harbor Freight. They're just a couple of magnets. You know, it was like a couple dollars, you know. And you put these in your pocket. And anything that you stick to it, as long as it's metal, of course, will hold. So if you're working somewhere outside with small parts, or even inside, it's a great handy little thing. You know, you've got a couple of nails or something, you drop one, you can't find it, just put it right there, and then you can see it, grab it, and go with it. So anyway, that's about it for today. I hope you learned something, and maybe you can do one on your house, or replace the one you have, you know. But like I said, the 10-year warranty, don't get fooled, because on the back it says if it becomes defective within a 5-year period, you know, blah blah blah, they tell you what they'll do. But then it also says up here, they guarantee it will be usable for normal use and service for 5 years. But in parentheses, there's a number 10. So I'm really not sure if they're talking 10 years or 5 years. It sounds like a little smoke and mirrors here. But in any event, mine lasted 10 years, the old one. I have no idea how long the new one will last, but that's what they're offering. So I guess we have to deal with it. So I'm not sure where they made this. USA. I'm really surprised. You know, I would have thought that they would have taken better care. Anyway, so I want to thank you for watching my home repair video. I've got a number of others online. I also have New England cooking. There's some humor in there, and there's a couple out there with essays. Check it out, and maybe there's something you'll want to see. But if there is, I sincerely hope that you click on the bar at the bottom of your screen where it says subscribe. And when you do that, a bell will appear. If you click on the bell, you get a notification every time I put out a video. It doesn't necessarily mean you have to stop everything and go watch it, but it will let you know that it's out there. So I sincerely hope you enjoyed yourself and that you consider subscribing, and I look forward to seeing you again. Thanks a lot. Have a great day.